Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot, and welcome to your general readings for the sign in the title below, because it's a bulk introduction, for the supermoon, full moon in Scorpio on the 26th or 27th of month we're in, April, for wherever you are in the world. Here in Britain it's on the 27th, in America it's mainly on the 26th. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the astrology of this because I'll be live streaming 6 p.m. UK time, so 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on YouTube with astrologer David Fisher. We'll go through the astrology then. As ever, general reading rules apply. Timing is not absolute. This is an interesting full moon. I think I tend to look at these readings as looking over the lunar cycle or half lunar cycle, if you know what I mean, from full moon to full moon, rather than new to new. So we'll see how long that they last. You should hopefully pick up the energies from them. If someone else appears in the readings, roles can get reversed. Doesn't very often happen in the spread that I'm using. But as I say, timing is far from absolute is the main point here. So, as ever, I would like you to hit that like button if you like the reading, or if you like the video even. No, the reading might not be so hot. And feel free to subscribe to the channel while you're here, because it really does help. I think that's it for my housekeeping. The reason I do a bulk introduction with a timestamp in the description below, so that you can fast forward to the reading, don't do it yet, is I would like to watch your sun, your moon and your rising. And you don't need to listen to me waffle 3 times over. You know what I mean? So there is a timestamp below if you're wanting to fast forward if this is your second or third time round. And there is a link to the Facebook page for this channel, where I post these videos, obviously, because I do not trust YouTube notifications. But I also post the weather report style astrology YouTube videos that I watch, so you can learn along with me, and I try to make it a bit of a one-stop shop. So anyway, I think that's everything. Oh yeah, if you don't know your moon or your rising sign, there's a link down there for there's 2 links: free birth charts, AstroSeek or Cafe Astrology. I'm now tending more towards using the AstroSeek, just because I know what I'm doing a little bit more, and there's so much you can get the chart to be presented the way you want it to be. So this full moon, it's an interesting one. It's ruled by the angel Jeliel. 7 degrees Scorpio is ruled by the angel Jeliel, who represents recapturing the spark and love and wisdom. Now, that recapturing the spark could mean the passion for a project, a field of research, or a person, you know. So there is that whole romantic element to it. There is a lot of, if you look into the positions of the planets and the degrees that they're holding and the degree symbols and what have you, there is a lot of sexual energy in this full moon, which figures with us just coming off the back of that Venus-Uranus conjunction, although again, that's about more than just relationships and sex lives. But what I've also found is interesting is the relationship to other new moons. Being in Scorpio, it represents transformation. Now, the moon, if my notes are correct, is in its fall in Scorpio anyway. But it's also, being in Scorpio, traditionally ruled by Mars. And Mars is just gone into Cancer. So the moon and Mars are in mutual reception. They're amping each other up. So I think there's any transformations that are begun more under or that are ongoing, I think it would be an even better way to put it, will have that little bit extra oomph. Now, Scorpio under modern rulership is ruled by Pluto. As we know, Pluto's still in Capricorn. But 7 degrees Scorpio is the site of the Pluto of harmonic convergence, which, if you know your hippie woo-woo, then that was a big event in the late, oh, I didn't write the date down, 87, 88, where there was this opening of all new energies coming onto the planet. So I think it's quite significant where this full moon is potentially giving us a chance to actually use those energies now. We've had plenty enough time since the 80s, late 80s, to assimilate to them. It's about time we use them. And also, the other thing I noticed is that it's on Aleister Crowley's Jupiter. Now, there was something else that was like really hocus pocusy with this full moon. I didn't write it down. I've forgotten what it was. But I would imagine this full moon would be great for full moon rituals. However, watch every single astrology forecast video I've posted on that YouTube page first. Do your research. Make sure that what you would be magically working towards, creatively visualizing, sat with a candle, what have you, is in line with the astrological energies that are there. Because I noticed the closer we get to the full moon, the astrologers' descriptions of this full moon are getting nicer and nicer. And there are some beautiful aspects to it. But there are also some quite traumatic aspects as well. So be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it. I think it's the, sometimes the genie is best left in the bottle. That's something that I think you really need to pay some attention to. Myself, I'm not planning any hocus pocus for the full moon this time. I'm just going to sit and let, I suppose the phrase would be trust the process. Allow the transformation energies to unfurl. Because for me, I was alive during harmonic convergence. So for me, this is really, really important. And it being on Aleister Crowley's Jupiter makes me think that magic at this time has a high chance of getting bigger. But it's Crowley, it's double-edged. Do you know what I mean? So you be very, very careful what you ask for. Now, I've also been reading a lot about Franz Barden and the entities he calls the degree heads, who are entities that inhabit each individual degree of the zodiac and can be evoked just like any spiritual entity or magical entity can be evoked, if you know about your evocation. Now, this one is, let me pronounce it correctly, Amelie. Now, Amelie, here's the description, protects man against all infectious diseases and causes him to look after himself so that he is at any time able to resist infection. If karmic reasons make it necessary, or if it lies in one's fate, this head, i.e. the entity Amelie, will not prevent an infection. Amelie teaches the magician many means of protection against the most diverse types of infectious diseases from the magical point of view. Since there exists also the possibility of mental or astral influences, Amelie also instructs the magician in this respect. He teaches him how to protect himself after having been made acquainted with special magical practices against negative astral influences and against influences of negative beings. So if you are going to try any hocus pocus with this full moon, talking to Amelie may not be a bad idea, given the situation of the world at the moment. Negative astral influences? Well, let's use the by now tiresome term of fake news. We've already seen what damage fake news can do. And infectious diseases. I wonder what's going on in the world that could relate to that. But apparently I can't say such things on YouTube. So I won't mention even the V word, never mind, the C word. Not that it makes the slightest bit of difference to me anyway, because I am not yet monetized. But, you know, I'd like people to see the readings that follow this. Now, that is pretty much all that I'm wanting to talk about with the full moon. Apart from new moon, yes. Now, Scorpio transformation. And there was an aspect between the last new moon, the Aries new moon, and Pluto, which was instigating transformation energies. You know what I was saying about the transformation with the harmonic convergence Pluto? There's that sense of revealing, unveiling, that deeper secrets, deeper truths, deeper realities, stripping things away. Scorpio is also the sign of death and transformation. It is the death card in the tarot. So, as I say, the death card in the tarot is not scary, because if you get a job, it's the death of poverty. If you get a relationship, it's a death of loneliness. You know, so death is not necessarily bad, but you're watching a tarot reading anyway. So apart from I'm not using tarot this, well, I am a bit. So you know this already. But there was transformation that was triggered by that Aries new moon. Not even triggered as in the seed was sown, but triggered as in, right, here is the energy to start it. Here we seem to be clearing all the crap out that we found that's in the way of this transformation. It's like deciding to redecorate your kitchen, and then you open a cupboard and find that you hadn't emptied it after all, and you need to empty this cupboard before you can do the next bit of work. So this full moon promises to be really, really useful and dramatic. Like I say, we're just coming off that Venus-Uranus conjunction, so I think that may be adding a little bit of spice into our lives one way or another. So, with no further ado, I don't think I've got anything more to add, and I'm trying to cut down these intros since we're doing the live streams. Yeah, the live stream may be shorter. I've said that already, haven't I? So, like, share, subscribe, and I'll bring up your cards. Okay, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. Now, if you've watched these Gods at Play readings before, you're well aware that this top row indicate the forces that are pressing down, the masks that the archons wear in their attempt to divide us from the divine, our higher self, our destiny, keep us vibrating in fear and misery and all that more negative aspects. Whereas the bottom row represents the gods that are trying to lift us up and trying to reconnect us with the divine, our higher selves, our destiny. And one message that I'm getting really, really clear here is beware of your feelings being used against you. So the archontic masks, we have Hades with death, Helios with illumination, Mart with justice, Inara with trickery, and the water nymphs with feelings. And that in and of itself is telling me a story. And it's like a political technique that the Republicans do in America, the Tories do here. They get involved in a public service, cut the funding, make sure it can't operate, and then stand there going, look, it's broken. We've got to replace it with private sector, when they're the ones that broke it. You can see this in the US post office. You can see it in multiple examples within the NHS. And I'm sorry if you don't think that that's what's going on, but I stand by that. But there's a similar story here, that your feelings are going to get used against you in the sense of someone trying to go, look, this is right. This has to end. We are shining a light, Helios, on this thing that needs to stop, Hades. It is only right, Matt. Now, on your side, the gods working with you. We start with Prometheus, altruism, Hemera with rebirth, Nuit with expansiveness, Nematona with secrecy, and the Hydra with challenges. Now, all these challenges that the Archons are offering here for you, you know what? That's okay. To quote A Course in Miracles, it's okay. It's a good job that you have the opportunity to face these challenges, because it will stretch you. But what these cards are saying is, do what you feel is right for the greater good. With Prometheus here, you can change something without ending something. You can make something better, i.e., to use my earlier examples, not that I'm hammering home a point, but start funding the USPS properly, start funding the NHS properly, and remove the private sector aspects out of it. Make something that is there, that's got the bare bones, change where you need to change, but rather than wipe away everything that you've already created and start from scratch where you don't quite know what's going to happen, build on what is there and change what is broken rather than break everything and start again. And I'm getting this from Nuit with expansiveness, a very Jupiterian influence coming here. But what is interesting is the presence here of Nematona, with that aspect of secrecy. So it's almost like you use the that's I get it. You can use the opportunity of however the archons are manifesting, and bear in mind that their influence can manifest in life through people who are perfectly innocent, that are being used as tools in this particular cosmic way of looking at things. I'm not saying that's how it is. I'm saying this is a method to describe how it is. It doesn't mean it's particularly accurate. It is metaphorical. This is a card reading on YouTube when all said and done. So it could be somebody within your life that has lost patience with something and wants to destroy it now because it's broken, and you're there to go, no, actually we can use it to build something better, to recreate something that will do more than what it did before, and for more people, and for the better. So whether that's the better of the family, the better of the workplace, the better of your colleagues, your friends, the better of your field of discipline, the better for your relationship, whichever. There will be challenges with this, but these are challenges that will make you stretch and grow. I always like when the Hydra appears on the bottom row, because, yeah, it's using sort of a fitness training or resistance training analogy, but also I am always remembered, obviously, because I'm a Marvelite, cut off one head and two more shall rise to take its place. So it is a constantly abundant source of opportunity and of testing. And with Nematona here, I'm rather thinking that when people are saying, look at this, look, it's broken, look it, rather than going, oh yes, okay, let's destroy it, let's get rid of it, you would be best served to go, okay then, let me have a look at it. Let me see what needs to be done. Let me take time to examine it. Yes, because balance is called for. Ooh, when they're bringing this illumination, this pointing, they're saying things could be, yeah, it's very idealistic. Things could be so much better than this. And to be honest on that one, they're absolutely right. Of course they can. But I would wonder if the person that is pointing this out may well have an agenda of their own. They may not do. Like I said, they could be a completely innocent pawn of just expressing the energies that are out there. But we've got, within error and trickery, we have the Tower, and this is definitely an intent to break something, to pull something down. But this is what's working against you. What's working for you here? Strategy, Seven of Swords with Nuit. Yes, build it up. Build it up again, pretty much in secret, and you will get good results. So when someone is saying, we must destroy that, let me go and have a look at it, and you just don't tell them that you are intending to actually rebuild it better and give it that rebirth that Hemera offers. You stand in defense of it because, yeah, it might not do what it's supposed to do completely, but the Nine of Wands here tells me that it very nearly does. So it's just a few tweaks here and there should sort it out. If you are making the commitment to... Well, Prometheus gave fire to man from the gods and suffered for it. He ignored the cost to himself to help bring a tool for civilization to mankind. And this is a commitment that you can make. Maybe not, maybe for the sacrifice, maybe not for the sacrifice, but you can make this commitment to make something better for more people. And as I say, whether that's on a personal level or whether that's on a more local, countrywide, worldwide, however, whatever your scale is, it could be just you and next door. You know, there's different scales of reference for all of this, because these challenges are ones for you to face on your own, and you have a really firm foundation. It's knowing the difference. You know that, what is it, the Serenity Prayer, which I always quote wrong, but give me the strength to change those things that I can, the wisdom to recognize those things that I can't, the patience to accept those things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Because we have, from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, we have Nemamaya with discernment. So there's a very, very practical, real world aspect with these, the God cards rather than the Archontic cards. But beware of someone trying to tell you how you feel. And also with this Ten of Cups and Helios, Helios is the former god of the sun. If you look in the terms of Greek myths, Apollo took over. So if you find that you're exposed to that sort of golden age thinking, oh, it used to be so good when, you know, people criticize folk for looking back to the 50s or the 60s as like a heyday. No, it was possibly their heyday, but just because it was a heyday then doesn't mean it can't be a heyday now as well. You know, there's just a few tweaks that we have to make. We're nearly there. And like I say, I'm taking that into a personal level here rather than an overarching political level, because these readings, as ever, they're for the people that they're for, and hopefully those people get to hear them. I'm not reading for every single Libra on the planet, just the ones that find this reading. So if this means anything to you, Libra, comment down below. Keep fighting the good fight. Press the like button while you're here and subscribe if you would. I'd be very grateful. And as I say, I'll be live streaming Saturday night, 6 p.m. UK time, however that translates to yours. I'm having some work done on my jaw later this afternoon, which is also why this reading is shorter and I'm talking so fast, because I want to get as many done as possible. So it might be a shorter live stream because I might not be able to talk. Okay, have fun, Libra. Cheers.